The smell of freshly brewed coffee filled the office as I walked in. But that is not how I discovered my life was about to change. It was the new janitor who caught my attention. There was something familiar about him, yet I couldn't quite put my finger on it. As I watched him sweep the floor with a quiet confidence, I felt a shiver run down my spine. Who was this man, and why did he seem to know more about our office than he should? I approached him, introducing myself with a curious smile. "Hello, I'm Layla. Welcome to our team." He looked up, his eyes locking onto mine with an intensity that made my heart skip a beat. "Thank you, Layla. I'm just here to do my job." But as he turned back to his work, I noticed something that made my blood run cold, a glint of a gold watch peeking out from under his sleeve. A watch that looked eerily similar to the one our CEO, Mr. Smith, was known to wear. Suddenly, the pieces clicked into place. Could it be? I felt a wave of confusion wash over me. Was our new janitor actually? As the days went by, I found myself glancing at the janitor more and more. There was an air of mystery surrounding him, and I couldn't help but feel drawn to it. I started to notice little things, the way he would smile to himself as he worked, the way he seemed to know exactly where everything was in the office. It was as if he had been here before, but that was impossible. Our company was very selective about who we hired, and I was certain that I would have remembered if we had employed someone as charismatic as him before. One day, as I was walking back to my desk from a meeting, I saw him standing by the water cooler, staring out the window with a look of deep contemplation. I approached him, trying to sound casual. "Hey, how's it going? Settling in okay?" He turned to me, his eyes narrowing slightly as he responded. "Yeah, it's going well. Thanks for asking." But as he turned back to the window, I caught a glimpse of something on his wrist, a small, silver cufflink with our company's logo on it. My mind started racing. What did it mean? Was he somehow connected to our company in a way that I didn't know about? I felt a shiver run down my spine as I realized that I might be onto something big. But as I turned to leave, I heard him speak up behind me. "Layla." I turned back, my heart pounding in my chest. "Yes." "Be careful who you trust," he said, his eyes glinting with a knowing light. And with that, he turned and walked away, leaving me feeling more confused than ever. I couldn't shake off the feeling that something was off. The janitor's words kept echoing in my mind, "Be careful who you trust." But who was I supposed to be careful of? And why was he being so cryptic? I decided to do some digging of my own, to see if I could uncover any information about our mysterious janitor. I started by asking around the office, but no one seemed to know much about him. It was as if he had just appeared out of thin air. Frustrated, I decided to take a different approach. I started to observe him more closely, to see if I could notice anything out of the ordinary. And then, one day, I saw it, a small, almost imperceptible nod between him and one of our colleagues, Rachel. It was a nod that spoke volumes, a nod that said they were in on something together. My mind started racing. What were they hiding? And why was our janitor involved? I felt a wave of determination wash over me. I was going to get to the bottom of this, no matter what it took. As I watched Rachel and the janitor exchange a furtive glance, I realized that I had stumbled into something much bigger than I had ever imagined. But I was ready for it. I was ready to uncover the truth, no matter how deep it was buried. And as I turned to leave, I felt a hand on my shoulder. "Layla, can I talk to you for a minute?" It was Rachel, her voice low and urgent. "What is it?" I asked, my heart pounding in my chest. "I think we need to talk about the janitor," she said, her eyes darting back and forth. "What about him?" I pressed, my curiosity piqued. "I think he's not who he says he is," she whispered, her voice barely audible. And with that, she turned and walked away, leaving me feeling like I was on the verge of something huge. I felt like I was living in a dream. Everything I thought I knew was being turned on its head. The janitor, who I had grown to trust, was not who he said he was. But who was he, really? And why was he hiding in plain sight? I decided to confront him, to demand the truth once and for all. I marched up to him, my heart pounding in my chest. "Who are you?" I asked, my voice firm. He looked up at me, a hint of a smile playing on his lips. "I'm someone who knows the truth," he said, his eyes glinting with amusement. "What truth?" I pressed, my patience wearing thin. "The truth about this company," he said, his voice low and mysterious. "What are you talking about?" I asked, my mind racing. "This company is not what it seems," he said, his eyes locked onto mine. "It's a facade, a front for something much bigger." I felt like I had been punched in the gut. What was he talking about? And how did he know so much? Suddenly, the pieces clicked into place. The watch, the cufflink, the nod with Rachel, it all made sense. "You're the CEO," I whispered, my voice barely audible. He smiled, a small, enigmatic smile. "I am," he said, his eyes glinting with triumph. "And I've been testing you, Layla. Testing your loyalty, your integrity." I felt a wave of emotions wash over me, shock, anger, confusion. But as I looked into his eyes, I saw something there that gave me pause. A glimmer of respect, of admiration. "You passed," he said, his voice low and gravelly. "You passed with flying colors." And with that, he turned and walked away, leaving me feeling like I was on top of the world. As I watched him walk away, I felt a sense of pride and accomplishment wash over me. I had uncovered the truth, and I had passed the test. But as I turned to leave, I realized that this was only the beginning. The CEO's words kept echoing in my mind, "This company is not what it seems." What did he mean? And what lay ahead? I felt a shiver run down my spine as I realized that I was in for a wild ride. But I was ready. I was ready to face whatever challenges came my way, armed with the knowledge that I had uncovered. And as I walked out of the office, I felt a sense of excitement and anticipation. What would the future hold? Only time would tell. But one thing was for sure, I was ready for it. The experience had taught me a valuable lesson, to always trust my instincts and to never give up, no matter how difficult the journey may seem. And as I looked up at the sky, I felt a sense of gratitude and wonder. I had discovered a secret, and in doing so, I had discovered myself.